Okay, so you saw the video, you know the main points that pathogenesis it's very, very complicated, and I believe nobody really knows how it works, how people get the GVHD and how people get rid of GVHD. The main points that everyone is showing is that the main three things is recipient conditioning tissue damage, then donor T cell activation, that's where MSCs work on, I believe, and then effector phase. Okay. So, talking about standard of procedure, yes, we do it in Vilnius University Hospital, Santariškių clinics. Yes, we have great facilities. Yes, we have standard of procedure, which was approved 2 months ago. No, not 2 months, 1 month ago. And this was my work. There are a few standards of procedures that are from laboratory, or how they grow and how the safety measures are done. I just didn't put it into the slide. So standard of procedure, it's first to this donor evaluation. I want to remark that I do everything from A to Z. It's from the donor to the infusion to patients and follow-up. That's what I do, and the colleagues, they help me to grow the cells. So first thing is donor evaluation. The second thing is the donor must sign informed consent, and he must know what he is doing, so we never rush them to do that. And when it's done bone marrow aspiration, I take 15 to 35 milliliters. We started with bigger amounts, but later on we reduced because we did not see any difference in the yield of MSCs, despite the volume. We do a selection on Canica. It's a special environmental thing. And then we do it flask growth in 5% pool platelet medium. It's done for up to 2 weeks. Then we put everything on bioreactor. So we have flask growth passage 0 only, and then we put them on bioreactor, and we do one okay, I forgot the English word, so
passage?
One passage. It cannot be called passage. Okay, one passage. It's also in pool platelet and they are grown for up to 9 days. That's the maximum, and we check for lactate. My colleagues, Mindaugas and Vilma, do it. And then it is harvesting, then evaluation for MSC criteria, which I'll talk later on. Then it is freezing, and then it is following an injection at the bedside. And I am here at the bedside. So I don't know if you're familiar with Canica, but the main point of this device is that there are a lot of fibers, and small cells, they go through them, but the bigger ones, I mean mononuclears, it's not only MSCs, of course, and there can be monocytes, macrophages. They get stuck, and then we use a pump, and it goes into the bag, and then this complex is seeded to the flasks. So I think you have seen a lot of such features. I won't show you. It's MSCs. It's MSCs. This is how this beautiful reactor looks like. It is a Terumo BCT product. We have a collaboration with them for a long time. Yeah, and so here is the harvesting, and we collect all the MSCs. Yes, to grow it's okay, but if you want to use it in clinical practice, you must be 100% assured that it's a safe product. We have, I have a lot of papers that we say that MSCs are totally safe. Yes, they are, and we also prove it. We do bacterial and fungal culture. For bacteria, we get in 7 days a response. For fungal culture, we get in 14 days. We do endotoxin, we get the result in less than 5 days. We do a mycoplasma DNA detection by PCR, it's done in less than 2 days. we do a SMP karyotyping, and I talked to the colleagues from other centers in Europe, and only a few of them do it. I mean SMP karyotyping. And finally, we checked MSC phenotype and viability. So only when we get all the results, only then we can infuse them. And we have a strict procedures, and the bioethics committee of Sandriškių clinics has to approve it. We have to write papers, and we have to approve it, and then yes, we can infuse them and treat people who need treatment. Yes, we did a few in vitro trials. They were done not by me, they were done by my colleague Vitaly Chernyshov. I don't know, maybe he is already in Canada or somewhere. He's a good person, yeah. And you can do. We did idle production. Yes, we saw that we're boosting idle. We did cytosuppression tests, and what I did is adipogenesis, chondrogenesis, and osteogenesis. So the results, if you can see it, it's the difference from stimulated and unstimulated MSCs. In some, you can see the difference. But okay, then again, it's proliferation suppression. It's okay. Here is only stimulated. It's only MSCs, and it's MSCs stimulated, activated MSCs, and if you see a huge difference. And when we saw those results, we said, yes, we have, yes, we know how to treat people. But later, after the analysis, you see that clinical data does not correlate with laboratory data. And that's what everyone is talking, that we should be more, not into laboratory, but to check what is happening in the body. And from my colleagues' experience, I see that the more active GVHD is, the better the results are. That's true. Yes. So I will not talk a lot about it, but GVHD, I will talk about acute. It's categorized by 3 organ systems. It's skin, liver, and gastrointestinal. It means those systems where the cells are dividing quickest. And it has 4 stages. And grading is done according a release criteria, and it's not very important for you, but for me it's very interesting that gut stage 4 is still grade 3. It means that skin and liver, if it has stage 4, it is more devastating than profuse diarrhea. Okay, so this is already my clinical paper that I presented in EBMT, and which was cited during the lecture of Perez Simon in EBMT. I'm very proud of it. So the response are complete response, partial response, stable disease, progressive disease, mixed responses. I don't like this response. It's I don't believe in this mixed response. When we continue at overall response rates, it means either it is complete response or either it is partial response. No response, don't look at MR, it's SD or PD. So what is steroid refractory acute GVHD? We should define it. If you wanna have a good study, you have to strictly define it. It's GVHD progression of at least 1 overall grade within 3 days, or failure to demonstrate any overall grade improvement over 5 to 7 days, or incomplete response by 14 days of 1 to 2 micrograms per kilo per day of glucocorticosteroid. I have to admit, we never use 2 mgs, we use 1 mg. So the inclusion criteria for the study there was no exclusion criteria. And the inclusion there that they had to be over 18, and the most important thing that they signed informed consent form, and they had to be steroid refractory. And what is steroid refractory? I told you a slide before. Okay, so what were the objectives? It was to determine overall response rate to MSC treatment, to determine overall survival. I mean, I think that overall survival is the most important thing. Event-free survival, immunosuppressive-free survival. Of course, to determine selected adverse events after MSC infusion, we couldn't take any that were linked in with MSC. So the main point, endpoint, is this study's first endpoint was primary 29th day response. I think it's a good endpoint. I'll show you the result. And a lot of secondary endpoints, starting from responses, then going to overall survival, relapse-free survival, event-free survival, immunosuppressive-free survival, selected adverse events after MSCs, which we did not see any, and the quality of life assessment. Yeah, it's okay. It's when the doctor looks at the patient, he says, yeah, he looks great, he looks healthy, but when the patient writes, there are some yes and no answers. And you see that you see very good, he looks to you very good, but he says that I'm totally disastrous. So I think it's very important to have a quality of life assessment in trials of clinical trials. Adverse events, what we did, I decided to use selected adverse events because it's impossible to collect all the adverse events. It is not. I think infections, secondary malignancies, thrombosis, or serious events should be collected, and they were collected. Okay, so about the treatment, so what was the indication? The indication was steroid refractory acute GVHD, and the dose that we decided after reading a lot of papers, so we decided to go for 1 million per kilo plus minus 0.5 because we have aliquots from 25 to 50. And recently we have changed our treatment plan, but I won't talk about it because I'm preparing the paper, so I'll talk about the data that is published.